that concept, but his community absolutely does engage in that sort of shit. I know. You know, everyone does it. Like literally every content creator on the internet does that sort of thing where ours does it too, for the record. Like we do it too. We just like immediately rush to fucking be like, these guys are bad. These guys are bad. These guys are wrong. Fuck these guys. Let's go and bully them into submission. And it's fucking annoying. Okay? I hate it. That was part of the reason why I stopped doing debate content. I know that there's like revisionist history out there about like why I stopped doing debate content, but part of why was because I realized the community that I had cultivated was like literally trying to get me to fucking do blood sports with Ryan Grimm when I was asking the Intercept DC bureau chief what their fucking point of view was on a particular matter. Okay? And I remember at the time I was like, what the fuck are you guys doing? You're like trying to fucking dunk on this dude? Like, no, this is not, this is not debate time. This is not blood sports. And the unfortunate reality is a lot of people love that. That's the content. That's the only way that they can analyze the news. That's their entertainment. And maybe that's the way you can understand the news. That's the way you can understand politics, and that's fine. But I don't like it personally. I think it's very toxic, and I think the environment that it creates is very toxic. And one of the problems is like, because I push back against that and I just like don't do that, all of the people that look for that are very effective at propagandizing, leave the community and then come back as enemies to the community and literally will fucking cut out videos and clip shit and go crazy. And it sucks. It's like unavoidable, right?
Pogo Arjan?
It's just a strange thing where people are constantly just like, I need the only way that I can comprehend news is through like the T format. The drama T format on YouTube is the only way that I can actually comprehend the news. It's so much better and so much easier for me if I can assume a role, assume a team, and then my team is like good and the other team is bad. Just try to learn about the issues by just looking at the issues and not through the framework of whatever your favorite content creator is saying to the other favorite content creator. Okay? Okay? For a lot of guys, politics is their space to enjoy petty drama. It makes the community just want a mega takedown, so they're obsessed with black and white, good guy, bad guy type shit. Exactly. When politics is like super nuanced for the most part, there are good guys and bad guys for sure, but it is deeply frustrating. Anyway, and Iman wasn't being a bad person in informing me, but that's the reason why I looked at this video. I would never have fucking seen it in any other capacity, but I looked at the video, and I gotta say I wasn't a fan. And I mean, I guess we can go over it. I can talk to them as well if they really want to, but like, only good faith. Okay, I'm not trying to fucking like get easy quips. I'm not trying to get like fucking clips. I'm not trying to like lock them into a corner to get them to admit that like they have some transphobic opinions or anything like that. Because that's usually what is the successful model for debate lording. I know how to do it.
19 months, BB.
What? I saw someone in the comments that said, I hated you thanks to D, and please don't get angry and ban me. I love you. I'm sorry. What? I don't even know what you're trying to say there.
Boom.
Durham Operations is an example of someone who let the community being an enemy. He clip chimped you and Glenn Greenwald respond. Yeah, like I have I have my own psychopaths who are like sycophantic sick fans that turn into like psychopathic haters that spend a lot of time just like creating shit clips out of context to just get their engagement going.
Happy 1 year. Thank you, Hasan and chat. Peepo kiss, peepo kiss.
With fully good faith, I have noticed you have a habit of saying, when introduced to a new leftist speaker, this person doesn't like me or this person wouldn't like me, even though those are quick asides, they do contribute to the community's team sports. The reason why I usually don't engage with people after I say that, and thank you for the constructive criticism. But the reason why I say that is because that's usually a way for me to avoid that. I just don't want to engage. And the reason why I don't want to engage is because it turns into a larger issue. Because
Hey, News Monkey,
for some
did you
people,
see
this is
yesterday?
their only content, okay? And I get it. I mean, I do it for Ben Shapiro. You know what I mean? If Ben Shapiro responded to me, I'd make fucking clips out of it too. And so Republicans are very good at not responding to the other side and not giving them even a fraction, even a fraction of that fucking clout.
13 months still no merch, Sag.
Okay? So yeah. If you're realizing it's happening, then don't respond to it. Please, this kind of drama content is exhausting and toxic. The more we talk about it, the more it feeds the conversation. I just want to figure out a way to like squash it. Okay?
Slay.
I want to figure out a way to come to reasonable conclusions with parties where both sides assume good faith and have a good faith conversation, because it's very frustrating that like the only way like right now what I'm doing doesn't go what I'm doing is not working. Okay, it's just not working. I feel like no matter what happens, I mean, even if you DM them personally, then they can like just fucking clip the DMs and continue the content off of that until like you have to fucking debate. And I don't want to debate. I just don't. I don't. You can say I'm bad at debating. You can say I'm bad at debating, and that's the reason, and that's fine. You can say that. You can say that. But like, I don't know.
Brain rot spreading.
To squash you have to stop streaming and give them your followers? I mean, maybe. His first video you made, 40x of his other vids. Of course, he's going to keep this content. No free clout. I mean, dude. It's just, today I want to talk about two separate things, okay? Because the video that Noah Samson made about Vaush, even though it's not about Vaush, it's about a much larger conversation about Vaush. Or not about Vaush, about the debate space. I literally don't think this is about Vaush. Like, I have had this experience so many times over, and I think it's a good video overall. It's just like his own personal experience with Vaush is the reason why he cut this video. It's a great video about the toxicity and the way that communities fucking organize. And I'm sure that my community does this shit too, even though I try actively and desperately to stop this kind of stuff from happening. What do I always tell you? What do I always fucking tell you? I say, do not go to this person. Do not go to this person's channel. Do not fucking go. We will ban you. Anytime I mention someone, and even then, there's still some fucking psychotic motherfuckers that go there and write some psychotic shit, okay? And then that other person will then make a fucking another TikTok video or whatever, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh, well, I was a fan, but like, Hasan is harassing me with his fucking followers and shit like that. And it sucks. And I hate that. I despise it. I despise it so much. It is not productive. It is alienating. It is dividing like some sense or some semblance of community that could be cultivated in what seems to be like a broader fucking collective of progressive, leftist, social democratic, or even liberal, dare I say, content creators that might disagree with one another, but constantly are fucking battling it out. And it's so ruthless and it's so shitty, and I fucking hate it, okay? It's part of the reason why I don't do debates, because debates are not about who actually is defeating one another in the intellectual marketplace of ideas with their good ideas against the other person's bad ideas. It's just about rhetoric. But more importantly than that, it's not even just about rhetoric in that conversation or in that moment. It's about whose community can actively brigade everywhere else and literally fucking, You got owned by Jamie Lee Peterson. These guys will destroy you. Lesbian, sarcasm. You're a great human. You make a lot of people's day with your streams. Don't think this isn't working. No, I do think it's working. You tend to avoid attacking people directly though, and when you do speak about someone, you don't tend to make semantics and twist them the way that V and other content creators do. I do that on purpose, but that also leaves me in an opening. Okay, that leaves an opening for someone like myself because everyone else does it to me, but I don't do it back to them. So now you got fuckloads of content. Like you have other people dominating the conversation about me, which is really frustrating. Hasan can't take criticism. Hasan is stupid. Hasan is not good at what he does. And that is not a good or thoughtful or constructive criticism towards what I do. Okay? That's just you repeating what you've heard from your content creator that you are fucking, doing Fedayeen shit for. You're ride or die for. Okay? Yes, I can't dunk. It is true. But I will be able to soon.
27 months bog puppy adoption stream when?
So there's two things, okay? Valid criticism equals personal attacks, but also don't personally attack me or I'll criticize you for it. So there's not even two things. This is something that I've been thinking about for a very long time. It's something that I want to it's something that I want to build. Even in the comments of this video, there's a lot of people saying you can't take criticism. I saw. Yeah, they literally do this. Like they go everywhere, anywhere they can and just like keep repeating the things that Noah correctly pointed out in his fucking video. And it's not just the Vaush fans. And it's not just Vaush. This is so much larger than Vaush. I wish he wouldn't have called it the Vaush effect, but it's a really brilliant video overall. The reason why he obviously called the Vaush effect or covered it from the point of view of his experience with Vaush was specifically because he was the one who, that was his experience. You know what I mean? That was his experience personally with this kind of thing, this experience on the internet, okay? But it was a really good video otherwise. It's a really good video that absolutely shows the exact same attitude that has been around since before fucking BreadTube popped off or whatever the fuck you want to call BreadTube, okay? This was 100% the exact same attitude that like the fucking poll weirdos had, okay? A lot of content creators in the 4chan space
4 months today, glad to be
built their communities off of doing exactly this. Debate someone, even if you lose the debate, your fans will fucking, whatever. We're not even going to get into the conversation of like what it means to lose a debate versus win a debate. It's all rhetoric regardless. But then they would just clip shit.
Love you at Hasanabi and
the goal wasn't to actually arrive at a conclusion. The goal was never about like constructive criticism. The goal was never about arriving at a conclusion. The goal was never about having a good faith discussion that actually fosters even more discussion. The goal always was ritualistically humiliate your opponent, try to catch them on the back pedal or on the back foot, saying something that you can clip out of context and basically lock them into that. I know this from my personal experiences. There's still motherfuckers out there who like say, I have said, don't call the cops if a woman is getting raped. I've never said that. Never. That is a complete fabrication. But people will literally just say that. People just say shit about you and others that are in this space because that's what their audiences do. Okay? So it's basically about, debates are basically about like rhetorically overwhelming and overpowering your opponent and then getting the clips ready to go and fire them off nonstop and basically just fucking brute force use your audience against whoever you have debated and like try to humiliate them. And for a lot of content creators who don't do this every fucking day like I do, for a lot of content creators who don't have a gigantic community like I do, that I love this community, okay? I say it all the time. This is the reason why I can get up every morning and do this shit, okay? For a lot of these other content creators, like this is incredibly fucking damaging to their mental health. And you are bullying people off of the internet. And that's your goal, ultimately. You're doing the same thing that a lot of the poll dudes used to do when they were Sargon of Akkad fans. Okay? In my honest opinion, it feels more like pure and simple fandom driving to people to attack on your behalf, which I think is more basic than what the VND communities do. I don't understand why you can't take the same vapid criticisms all day, every day for months from fans of my favorite YouTube video essays. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like people aren't here all the time, so I try to be as like good faith as possible and try to address as many comments as possible. But unfortunately, you see more hate than love for you online because you don't weaponize your audience in a way that other political pundits do, and that's a good thing. Yeah, and I refuse to do that, and it's really frustrating to do that. But I could do that. It's just the problem is, it is. I don't like it. I think it just, like I said, it harbors toxicity within communities. My community used to be like that, okay, and we fixed it.
2 years of brain rot.
And I don't know how to solve it, but I am trying, okay? I am trying. I want this to not be the way that, like, YouTube progressive leftist spaces continue to grow, because it's fucking awful. Okay?
Rise up as Flex Gigahaz.
It's awful. And yeah, we saw the power of this community when we did our plays. Like, we were ripping, you know? We could. The reason people get so mad about the criticism of their streamer daddies because even their viewers, even some of yours, build this entire worldview around yours. So when someone shits all over you, they perceive it as an attack on them personally. I mean, I don't think my community does that much. I think my community doesn't even defend me at all. This community has no mobilization. I get brutalized whenever I have to defend you. Yeah, exactly.
Hi.
Like, for as much as we talk about like stands and shit like that, bro, there are way more overpowering negative content and negative criticism that is like literally over innocuous minor shit that most people don't give a fuck about, like me buying a house or a car or whatever the fuck, that turns into a much larger a problem than a defense of that sort of thing. Anyway, the Discord purge made a noticeable difference in not only how much you enjoyed streaming, but how pleasant the chat was. It was awesome and well moderated. Your communities is an absolute upside. Yeah. So
how has it been so long?
it just, I don't know. It is frustrating to see though, and the reason why I don't like it is because I think it's just incredibly toxic. I don't want this kind of fractionalism. I don't want this kind of like idiotic fucking attitude to fester. Okay?
Sag.
There's no winning. You either have no people defending you or you have extremely online militant weirdos going around defending you. Yeah. And in the worst ways possible. And then that also creates even more weird shit.
18 months BB.
Keep bringing your name up on r/Mar as a future guest. They just dump on me without explaining why. What is r/Mar? Oh, Bill Maher? I mean, I shit on Bill Maher a lot.
Shiz his ass. Keep building community has high.
The fact that this community has been so open and talking to all issues in here and critiquing all sides is what got me out of the Jimmy Dore pipeline. Yeah, look, there's a lot of people out there, man. There's a lot of people out there with a lot of different attitudes, and you know, some of it is not great, and I don't like it. Okay.
Yeah.
You're a lightning rod for online hate. I'm not defending your ass. Yeah. So Yeah, if you want to go watch it, you can watch it on
For
your
the sake
own.
of
Like I
content,
said,
being a cringe.
this doesn't extend the Vaush. Like, even though he's using Vaush as an example, this is a much, much larger conversation. Okay? Much larger conversation. And I'm going to go ahead and be as good faith as I possibly can and as charitable as I possibly can with the hopes that it doesn't fucking backfire on me. But I hope that Vaush watches it and then literally changes and takes steps to try to change this as well. Like, it's not just him, obviously. There are communities that are far worse than his. Far worse. We have a lot of overlap in my community and that community as well. But the point is, I hope that, that he, as a relatively sizable fucking content creator in this space, can also try to manage this. Okay,
Your streams get me through the day at work. Thank
can
you for all
also
you do.
try to manage this as a problem. I know that it gets to a point where it's like, his community hates you. I know. I don't care. I don't care that his community hates me. Okay, it doesn't matter. After being doxxed on our place for linking a WAPO article of you for donating to Ukraine, I will never defend your ass on the internet again. Not gonna lie. Wait, what do you mean you got doxxed? Why the fuck do you think that someone who profits off the drama farming debate bullshit makes a living off of it, looks at this video and decides it's time to change, bro? Come on, get real. Because it's gonna suck. It's gonna be toxic as fuck for him. And it's gonna be toxic as fuck for whoever goes down this line, okay? If the only content that you have, if the only content that you personally have is just like shitting on other people, okay? And you're not trying to also cultivate a community, but like the community that you're cultivating is like exclusively built around attacking people. You're doing the Kiwi Farms like lolcow shit, but from a political perspective, and it's the same exact concept as like the speed drama that we got into yesterday. If you remember, we talked about it. I'm not surprised you haven't seen the logs of him saying, "I just want to be bigger than Hasan," not verbatim, but you get it. And he encouraged hate towards you with the unpaid editor crap. Yeah, I don't care. I forgive that. I don't give a shit that he was like trying to do that. It's fine. Everyone's trying to make a fucking living out here, okay? Whatever. But my point is larger than that, okay? My point is larger than him personally being like, I just want to fucking overtake Hasan and be bigger than him. One day I will, or whatever the fuck, in the DGG chat. I've seen the fucking logs. That's not true, chatter. Man, I've seen those fucking logs. They've been around for a long ass time, okay? Listen, it doesn't matter. This is 100% going to be worse overall. It's going to be worse overall because like the people, you'll start noticing changes in your community. If you love your community, you will start noticing changes in said community where people are coming for the toxicity and for the debates and for like ownership. Like, oh, I just owned you. I owned you. I owned you. And that is absolutely terrible. That's absolutely fucking terrible. You don't want that. This whole conversation is about not taking things personally or delving into personal beefs, and Chad is still trying to foster it in you. Drama debate frogs are crazy. Yeah, exactly.
21 months. Let's go. Let's fucking go.
Exactly. And it's not good. And it's not good. The point is so much larger than that. It's gonna be bad for your mental health. You might see like the immediate big benefits of doing shit like this, okay? But if you turn this into your entire content, it sucks, man. It's gonna suck ass. It's gonna be fucking terrible. It's gonna be terrible for you. It's gonna be terrible for everyone around you. Like, it's just awful. And then you're chasing the next like enemy over and over again. You're chasing the next big like high that you can like take down from the fucking leftist side, you know? And then you're basically just like hunting leftists for no fucking reason.
Smile.
Well, not for no reason, but okay. Defend your position in a 20-person Discord server or you're a coward. Yeah. Whew. Serious paradoxical shit. Sorry, dude. I'm not getting into fights online defending you or any other streamer. It's not like people watch online on my besties. No, I mean, I don't expect you to. When V watched Noah's previous video that included clips of you, he did say your perspective mostly came from dealing with D. I mean, it is, and that he made the fucking template. He made the template. Well, he didn't make the template, but he used the template on the left. That template has been around for a very long time, my friends. You know, yeah, a lot of the fucking every neck-bearded alt-right dipshit that was a YouTube essayist that we've all dunked in perpetuity basically did that. They all had communities. They all had Discord servers. They all had forums where they would dox their opponents, where they would clip shit out of context, where they would raid and brigade any positive fucking mention of said intellectual opponent. We've all been in this. Some of you were on the other side of this when it was happening. So now we're doing it. Now we're doing it to ourselves. And it's very strange. And like I said, this has nothing to do with just Vaush, okay? We are doing the exact same thing, especially because a lot of the people that are doing this exact same shit in those communities are literally coming from the right. And they might have actually changed their attitude about certain political subjects. They might have become more, quote unquote, woke about trans rights or labor rights or anything like that. But they haven't left, the toxicity has not left them. The way that they fucking combat others in the marketplace of ideas has not changed. The fighting techniques are still the same. Okay? Why do you even let this bother you? Yeah, they may have some Discord server or whatever, but at the end of the day, you fucked all their mothers while their fathers watch. True. Anyway. Yeah, the logical conclusion of creating content like that is to sustain yourself is to end up being like Leafy. Bullying kids is another easy target for cheap laughs. Yes. And it's fucking horrible. And your community will turn on you too, eventually. Someone else will do exactly what you are doing right now to you because you have created this fucking community. You've created this toxicity. So they're not actually there to learn about leftism. They're not actually there to watch you. They're not actually being entertained by you. They're entertained as long as you fucking attack other people. So once you're not giving them exactly what they want, or once you've debated too many fucking people, they're going to start getting bored of you. And there's going to be other people in your community that come out of your community and become the Vaush to what Vaush is to me. You know what I mean? You don't want that. It's not good. So we're all in this together as content creators that say they're progressive, say they're leftist. I just hate it. I tried to defend you a while ago on Reddit. I got DM'd a death threat in the name of my city, Lamau. It's insane. And I came from D's community. Yeah, I mean, people are fucking psychotic. Yes.
Poggies.
Anyway, let's fucking blast off. I haven't even done that. It seems to be counterintuitive to see debating as a primary tool for spreading leftism. If you operate from any leftist framework, they all explicate the problems of exerting power over another. Thus, debates are just exercises and dominations that we despise. No, that's not the only reason. The real reason why it's fucking debates can be helpful, but the real reason why I think that like as leftists debates are not exactly great is because as a leftist you have to combat pre-existing ideas that everyone has, right? There is already a dominant hegemonic attitude that everyone believes in, and that slant is unfortunately homophobic, transphobic, racist, bigoted. Every fucking institution that plays a role in your upbringing is educating you in that way,
27
okay? All the
months is what?
stereotypes that you see, all of that, all the structures are reinforcing these sorts of values. So as a leftist, you have to combat against that. You have to literally rebuild the world. Whereas right-wingers can just fucking destroy. They can just lean on the pre-existing structures, and then on top of that, keep attacking you because people already have that disarray. People are already confused. People are already frustrated. So right-wingers can very easily use that confusion, okay? They can use that confusion against you. And instead of pointing at the correct reasons why you should be angry, they can point it at something that already exists, something that an attitude that already exists, like immigrants or gay people, okay? And that is very difficult. It's very difficult to do in a if you are intellectually honest and if you're an empathetic person, it is very difficult to build that worldview against someone who is relying on the pre-existing constructs that can just simply turn around and say, you're wrong. Look at this trans person. Trans people are predators sometimes, you know, something like that. And then you immediately go, well, I don't know, as an average person who's never really thought about this stuff, like what this guy's saying that this trans person had done a crime. I'm not going to separate the trans person from the crime itself because I also personally think trans people are kind of weird.
I've had to change
I'm just gonna, I don't know. I guess he's right. He seems to have won this argument.
Defending you can be a terrible experience, but it's a good thing when you can approach something with a level head while mislead people attacking you look insane.
Yeah. Agreed. It's the Onion Iraq War versus No, It Won't joke. Yeah, that's a great example, actually. Here it is. This was back in 2003. The Onion came out with this absolute fucking banger. It said, this war will destabilize the entire Mideast region and set off a global shockwave of anti-Americanism versus No, It Won't. Owned. Argument done. Because people believe No, It Won't. Because No, It Won't, as a position, has been well established. No, It Won't, as a position, has been defended time and time again. Everyone wants to feel like it won't. So you're owned. What did you accomplish? You can scream from the fucking mountaintops and bring empirical evidence to the fucking conversation, to the table, but ultimately, in that field of debate, you just got owned. The irony, of course, is this own is literally older than me. Yeah, exactly. This is from 2003. Problem with leftist debates is that everyone has different solutions to the same problems. We can all agree on problems, but when it comes to the solutions, it's all or nothing. Either you agree with my solution or people act like you're as bad as the other side, even though you are both acknowledging there's a problem that needs to be solved. Yeah. I've noticed that those kinds of right-wing people rarely end up in academia. I wonder why. Maybe because they have no logical consistency. There's plenty of right-wing attitudes in academia. We're just not conditioned into seeing that as such, for the record. Okay. Anyway, I think people who don't understand debating never got made fun of by a bully who would literally use some kind of shit to own awkward kids who couldn't stand up for themselves. FD Signifier covers it really well in his BreadTuber video. He discussed the origin with the content, and it parallels the anti-SJW content. Angry white men that shifted over to leftist communities once Trump came around. Yeah. And the thing is, like, dude, there's a lot of white people out there, man. There's a lot of white people in this community. You got to recenter the anger that said white kids on the internet feel towards the more productive goals, okay? That's the point. That's what I try to do. You know, I understand. I'm not here to shit on you on the virtue of whiteness beyond, like, fucking jokes. Don't be so butthurt about it, obviously, because, like, holy shit, we should be able to make some jokes, right? But I do also simultaneously understand that making jokes about whiteness, for example, is not the same as making jokes about black people because there's more historic persecution associated with it. And that immediately stops people from listening to anything else I say, usually on this matter. There's a lot of people who haven't been trained and conditioned, or reconditioned rather, to recognize that there's differences, there's nuances, and there's differences between different subgroups that you can make jokes about. Michael Brooks is a huge influence of mine. I know you knew him a bit before he passed. I knew him very well. What do you think his opinion would be on these leftist debates content? I hate like the whole Michael Knowles wouldn't like this or whatever. Or Michael Knowles, what the fuck? Michael Brooks wouldn't like this, or Michael Brooks would like this type shit. So I'm not gonna get into it. But look, I love Michael. I knew him very fucking well. I mean, he wrote entirely. I've talked to him specifically about these issues. So you can find our content together. Anyway, all right. Yeah, he was not a big fan of debate bro shit. Okay. Daycare is open on Friday. Got some videos to go over. No stun locks. Emotional. No drama. Fake. Yeah. How do you handle the constant criticism? I got some valid criticism recently and it destroyed me. I don't have a problem with valid criticism. You have seen me. People don't understand. You're clearly talking about wanting to make the leftist tent bigger instead of drama baiting. This is why reactionary content is effective, because they never fear each other down. They never tear each other down. They just either deflect or outright ignore other people, all to keep the message going. Yeah, exactly. And I know people say that's disingenuous, and hey, maybe it is, but shut the fuck up, because that's what it takes, okay? And someone like Vaush knows that better than anyone. He has talked about it a lot, so that's why I'm